to let all the people into the meeting room. Okay, we're good to go. So welcome everyone to our meeting number 179 of ToastEd Toastmasters Club in Cape Town. And the theme is the importance of making other people feel important. So I really hope our new guests feel very important. It's our job to make everyone feel important. And I'm the Sergeant at Arms. My name is Chantal, and it's just my job to make sure that the meetings run smoothly and to do a little bit of housekeeping. So I think a lot of you have actually already found the toilets, but the toilets are all the way to the end and to the right. And at Toastmasters, we're a very encouraging club, so you'll see when we like something online with the snap of the fingers, and often we give a lot of claps. We believe in encouraging people and letting them have the best experience. And I think that's all from me. Over to you, Jacine.
Evening, everybody. As Chantal mentioned, it is our 179th meeting for ToastEd Toastmasters, and the theme this evening is making other people, the importance of making other people feel important. And we thought that was quite a lovely theme in a leadership program and a public speaking program because of the importance we put on to everyone standing up here, to supporting them and to helping them become successful public speakers. So I look forward to a lovely evening with you all. Some exciting news, birthdays, and things I'd like to celebrate with you all this evening. The first one is our lovely Michaela. She represented our club at the division contest. And Michaela, you were outstanding.
Yes.
You really, really were outstanding. Those judges, not sure what they were doing, but we all thought you should have come first place. We aren't biased or anything, but completely feel you should have been first place. You really, really made our club so proud. And thank you for supporting us and for standing up and representing our club. So congratulations. So definitely first prize for all of us. And I also want to make a special mention to Andrea, who also stood up at the division contest. She was the test speaker, and she did a beautiful speech that I'm waiting for her to do here for us. So Andrea, anytime, please come and teach us your wise words. But she also was amazing. She got some lovely feedback and just was a really beautiful speech. And everyone who did the evaluation definitely could feel that she spoke with so much authenticity. So thank you, Andrea. Congratulations. And then a few little birthday acknowledgements. Sean, happy birthday for the 3rd of April. Feels like ages ago.
I turned 40.
Sorry, I mustn't laugh so loud. But congratulations on your birthday.
Took off my Christmas.
And Michaela, you've celebrated your birthday twice with ToastEd this year, but happy birthday for the 3rd of May. Happy birthday to you both. And then I just want to make a special little acknowledgement to Alex Genza, who ran the Wings for Life on Sunday, and he came second in the men's.
Wow.
And how many kilometers did you run? 35 kilometers.
Not about me.
Okay, sorry, it's not about you, but it's a great acknowledgement, and I want to thank Andrea and Sally for supporting you in that. So thank you very much. Before we do, okay, I'll do this first. I want to just welcome all of our lovely guests that are in the room and online. Takalani, I know I've spoken to you already and you joined us in our meeting in May, but welcome back. It's lovely to see you. And what has brought you back to Toastmasters this evening?
Yeah, I think I did feel the warmth previously,
And I am still convinced that this is a great platform of growth. It's a nice platform where you can learn from legends like yourself. So it's a beautiful tribe to be a part of. So thank you once again for the welcome.
Oh, thank you. Well, lovely to have you. Thank you for being with us. And Masego, I see you online. Hello and welcome. Can you hear us? Would you like to say hello to us? Just give us a little wave. But welcome. It's lovely to have you too. And then Elizabeth, welcome. A very special guest. This is Julia's mum. It's lovely to meet you.
Yeah, thank you very much. So Julia is talking so often about this club, and so I was I'm very excited to be here.
Oh, lovely. Well, thank you. It's lovely to have you with us this evening. And you get to see your daughter shine on the stage because she really is quite special.
Yes, and I saw her growth in the last years.
Yes.
I said, oh, this must be special here.
Oh, well, thank you so much for being. Yes. Oh, well, thank you. It's lovely to have you. And Bill, long-time guest. How are you? And what has brought you back to ToastEd tonight?
I love the club. It's local. Got nothing going on. I just love that. I'm going tonight here. Tomorrow night is my Two Oceans meeting. On Thursday morning, I'm mentor for 91. And on Saturday, I'm a member of Cape Town Speakers. So I have 4 meetings in 5 days.
Wow.
And loving every minute of it.
Amazing. Toastmasters dedication. Would you please just walk around with the speaker, please, so that everyone is heard? Sorry, thank you. And Gavin, welcome. Hello. What has brought you this evening to ToastEd Toastmasters? I know we chatted briefly, but tell everybody else what has brought you here.
I think it's been a long time coming, finding the right club, so I'm very happy to be here and looking forward to the great enjoyable.
Amazing. Well, thank you for joining us. It's lovely to have you. Observe, take some notes, let us know what your thoughts are at the end of the evening. Thank you so much. And Andres, welcome. Hi. So have you joined with Quinton? Is Quinton a friend of yours? Oh, sorry. Oh, okay. A newfound friend. What has brought you? So Quinton hasn't brought you. What has brought you to ToastEd this evening?
I think like anybody else, just looking for moments of expansion and facing the fears.
Exactly.
Really brings that out. So yeah, I am. I'm looking for the scariest club out there. Let's see what you got.
I don't think we're going to win Scariest Club because we are a heart-warming club. Lots of warmth and encouragement and enthusiasm. But please take notes. Let us know what your thoughts are at the end of the evening. But welcome.
What's scary to me, you don't know.
Oh, this is very true. Great. Thank you. It's lovely to check in with all of you. Okie dokie. Masego, but I couldn't get hold of Masego. Masego, can you hear us? Oh, hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. What has brought you to ToastEd Toastmasters this evening?
I actually heard about it from one of my lecturers, and he recommended that, if you want to improve public speaking and your confidence, this is something you should try. So I'm just here to see how things work out.
Amazing. Well, welcome. It's the right place for you. That's what you're looking for. I hope you enjoy the evening with us, and please take notes. Let us know what we can do better or what you found interesting at the end of the evening.
Of course. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So because we are a nice, warm and welcoming club, and we like to acknowledge all of our members' achievements, we've got a few little awards that I'd like to hand out. please when I call your name, sounds like we're at school again, but please when I call your name, come up so we can have a quick photo op so we can show off your beautiful certificates and ribbons, and then you can go and sit down again. Okay. So first person, for those people who are new to Toastmasters, we work on a program called Pathways. And on Pathways, you complete different projects. And those projects are speeches that you stand up and you speak. And you give us a presentation or tell us a story. And each time you tell us a story or give a presentation, you mark it off on the Toastmasters International website. And once you've done, let's say, level 5, I think there's 4 projects that you complete, then you complete a level and you move into level 2. So this evening, there's a few members who have completed their levels. So this is the little acknowledgement from Toastmasters International that they get to say, yay, you did it. And also because each time a member completes a level, we get a point for the club. And we do actually have some lovely ribbons, which I do need to put on here. But each time we get a point, it moves us up. So currently we are, I think, distinguished Toastmasters or distinguished club, and we are aiming to get to President's Distinguished, which is the highest that we can get. And we just need 2 more points. So after this evening, I think we get one of those points, and thereafter, someone just needs to complete a level 1, and I know who that person is. So they are going to just do a little speech for us so that we can do that. Okay, so without further ado, I would like to invite Andrea up for her completion of level 2. Let's have a quick photo shoot. Oh, hello, new photographer.
I've already handed it over.
Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah, and we can have this beautiful sun in the background. Smile. Cute. Oh, thank you. Sure, where's this aircon? And then we have a very special member this evening she spoke last meeting, she's speaking tonight, and we have 2 awards for her this evening. Because our dearest Julia has completed her level 3 as well as her level 4. So she's given us 2 points. Congratulations. Thank you so much, Julia. Do you want to do one photo at a time or just hold all your awards in one go? But I can't hold it. Then it looks like it's mine.
I worked actually very hard on this.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, that's possibly, how many speeches? That's possibly 6 speeches or something in this. Yeah.
Nice.
Yay! And I think it was over this past weekend when there was so much happening in running life and every other life, there was the Toastmasters conference. And Richard, who is a member of the Breakfast Club, got hold of me because he very kindly, we received some awards, and he very kindly gave them to me yesterday. So I would like to, I'm going to give the awards, it's for our club, but I'm going to give it to the person who is in the background working very hard on the exco, who made this award possible. So I think, Will, you might have to help me here. This one is Distinguished Ready Club Award, which means we are almost getting towards the President's Distinguished Award. So I feel like this is maybe VPE. So Sean, I can give it to you. Oh, thanks for talking.
Nice, different angles. Loving it. Work it, Sean. Yeah, there we go.
Thank you. Well done, Sean. Okay, and then this one is quite fabulous because it's 2 awards. And this award is for ToastEd Toastmasters for achieving round 1 and round 2 of the Treasurer's Excellence Award. And what that means is it means in September last year, we got everyone to pay, or a certain amount of people to pay before the deadline. And again, in March this year, we've got a certain amount of people to pay before a certain time. So thank you to all the members who paid on time, who listened to Sally and was like, yay, I'll do the self-pay. And well done to Sally. Thank you, Sally. I'm in the photos.
Money knows me. I have money.
Lovely. Thank you. Well done, Sally. And then the last award, I actually had to Google what it was, is the ToastEd Toastmasters Talk Up Toastmasters Award. And what that is the most people, again, correct me if I'm wrong, Bill, but the most people visiting our club and having lots of members visiting and lots of new members. No, it's lots of guests visiting and then they're turning into members. So that goes to our beautiful VPM, Gabrielle.
It's amazing that you found that out. I didn't expect anything
It's
like that.
amazing what Google can do.
Yeah.
Nice. Well done, guys.
Thank you. Well done. And online too. Oh, Maggie, hello and welcome.
Hi, Justine, right? Whoever it is who's speaking.
Yes, that's
Hi, how are you?
I'm perfect. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks. I don't know if my lighting is very good. I did not intend on turning on my video, but yes,
There we
I
go.
can see
We
myself.
see you.
So it's good.
It's good.
Hi, everyone.
Yes.
I'm visiting you from Kenya. That means I'm in
Amazing.
District 114, which covers East Africa.
Great.
Thank
And
you.
Maggie,
Happy to be here.
thank you for being with us tonight. I think you have visited us before, haven't you? A long time ago.
It's highly possible, but I think so. But I think if you were in Anaheim last year, I might have met you because I have your number for some reason.
Oh, you do? Oh, so we've definitely chatted because when I saw your name, you were familiar to me.
Mm-hmm. All right, good to be here. Looking forward to picking some great lessons because I'm starting a club. I've started a club. At least we have our 25 paid up members for a new club. And I just want it to be an excellent club. So I'm visiting and picking as many lessons as possible.
Amazing. Wow, congratulations. That's quite an achievement for a brand new club.
Yeah,
well,
you can say that again. Thank you.
Lovely to have you with us. Thank you. Sure, that's very impressive. Okay, I don't have anything to cheers us with. Oh, thank you. But she's a member. Okay. If I ask everyone online, in person, to stand up and to unmute yourselves, and we raise a toast to South Africa and all her speakers. To South Africa and all her speakers. We have a very special evening this evening because we've got 2 icebreakers and 2 normal speeches. Well, I say normal, one is 5 to 7 minutes, one is a bit longer. And we have got some new role players. So thank you to all of our members, online, in person, who've taken on roles, who've chosen to be brave and courageous, stand up and speak. I'm wishing you all the best of luck to all of you. And I have the pleasure of handing over to Sean, who is our Toastmaster tonight. Thank you, Sean.
Evening, everybody. So when I was thinking of the theme for this evening, the importance of making other people feel important, it reminded me of a book that was written 70 years ago. And in this book, they said it was Dale Carnegie wrote the book, and he said the book was called How to Win Friends and Influence People. And the fundamental thing that Dale Carnegie said is that the most important word that another person can hear is their name. And that just speaks to what we're here to do with the theme tonight, is it's the importance of making other people feel important. So the theme for tonight, it goes, we have a timer roll, And these roles are all set with Toastmasters, this very specific format that Toastmasters follows. The reason why you have a timer is because time is important. If you go over time, you're actually stealing the time of the evening. So the evening has a set amount of time. And what that does is it shows that you respect the time of the evening. So timekeeper keeps time. And you will see when the timekeeper comes on, there'll be various times of features. There's a time for a prepared speech, and there's a time for a table topics. And in the prepared speeches, there's 2 times. You'll see a time for an icebreaker, which there are 2 tonight, and there are times for normal speeches. Then we have a grammarian role. Now, in Toastmasters, we are here to learn to speak. So what a grammarian does is a grammarian looks at the grammar and the words and the things we say and helps us to improve our use of the English language. That's what the grammarian is going to do for us tonight. And they will also have a word of the day. And what's nice about that is that you want to be able to use that word of the day if you're going to do any of your speeches, intersperse it with, and you'll see that people will do this when that's the word of the day. And then we have an R counter. Now, most of us, when we speak, we will say words that we don't realize that we're saying those words. So we'll go, and I do that a lot. I go, and by the end of the evening, the R counter's rattled up about 30 words that I've said, and I go, really? Did I do that many? It's because we're not conscious of it. So what the R counter does, it allows us to see what we use as filler words and be able to fix those for us. And then we have 4 speeches tonight, and there are 4 evaluators. So an evaluator is there to be able to assess how the person has given their speech. And the evaluation is vitally important because it's a mirror to the speaker. Because the speaker without that evaluator would have just given a speech. And the way that evaluations are done, as you will see, is that there are things that we need to compliment the person about, and there's things that we could improve on, and even better if. And what we are here to do is, and I always say that to people, in my role as VPE, when people would come on as a mentor to me, I say, don't come here to prove, come to improve. Because if you want to come and you want to hit it out the park, you're going to put yourself under so much pressure to actually hit it out the park that you may not enjoy the evening. And in Toastmasters, we're here to help each other. We want to be able to improve all our speeches. So if your mindset is one of, I'm just here to improve, you take all that pressure off yourself. And then we're able to give you the feedback that you need, and then you develop for the next speech. One of the very important things we do in Toastmasters, as you would have seen earlier, is we clap. And what that does is it acknowledges the people that are in the room, and it actually bonds us. They say that clapping has a thing about a human, that when we clap together, it actually bonds us closer together. So there's a thing that we do, and when you see us clapping, it's not only to recognize and acknowledge the speaker, but it's also to bond us together. And when there's an icebreaker, we stand and clap, because it's the first speech that this person's given, and they've been brave enough to get to the floor and step up. So that's a very brave step that person's taken on their journey, and then the next speech becomes easier, and so it goes down the line. So without further ado, the first speech is Rochelle, and let me first introduce the person that's going to be giving the evaluation. So, sorry, before I do that, dial back, Sean. I need to introduce first the timekeeper role. So Anthony, would you please come up and, you see, I said I should move that thing. Okay.
Okay, now we see.
Okay. Come up, please, Anthony. Introduce the timekeeper role, please.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Time, something we wish we all had more of. Yet, one thing we can't pause, rewind, or fast forward. Did you know the first mechanical clocks were invented in the 1300s? And they had no minute hand. Imagine giving a speech with no idea how long you've been talking. So, as timekeeper, my job tonight is to be the guardian of time. part clock watcher, part gentle nudger. I'll let each speaker know when they've reached their green, yellow, and red time markers. Tonight we have 4 speeches. 2 icebreakers, one by Rochelle, who's online, and one by Quentin. One extra long speech by Chantal. And lastly, Julia, who's doing her first speech at Toastmasters Level 5. The time frames are as follows. Icebreakers, at 4, the time keeper, time device will flash green, 5 minutes it will flash yellow, and at 6 minutes it will flash red. Chantal, obviously your speech is a bit longer tonight. So at 13 minutes it will go green, 14 yellow, and 15 red. But that was part of the plan. And Julia, green will go at 5 minutes, so it'll go green, 6 yellow, and red 7. So consider me your friendly reminder that in world of public speaking, timing is everything. And as Shakespeare said, better 3 hours too soon than a minute too late. Promise won't be that strict, but I will be watching. With that,
So next we have the R counter, and Christina Thomas, will you step up, please?
Yes, I will. Thanks, Sean. I mean, you described my role actually quite well already. So, good evening, Mr. Toastmaster and fellow Toastmasters and guests. Purpose, as Sean explained it earlier, of the counter is to note words and sounds that are used as a crutch or a pause filler by anyone who speaks. During the meeting, I will listen for overused words, including and, well, but, so, no. And I will also listen for filler sounds, including or the Germans say so. I will also note when a speaker repeats a word or phrase, such as I, or this means. At the end of the meeting, I will report the number of times that each speaker used these expressions. Thank you very much. That was it.
And then I have the grammarian role, which is the lovely Michaela. Step up, please, Michaela.
Good evening, guests, Toastmasters. I am the grammarian. I'm dying for this role. I feel like dying for this role. It's really fun and it's not scary. Think of all the alliterations, the spoonerisms, metaphors, quirky uses of words. I'll be taking note of them. And essentially, I'll just be listening a lot. And Anthony, you're the first time that I've ever realized that I have to actually start the grammarian role from the very beginning and not after I speak. So thank you for keeping me on my toes. Then in line with the theme tonight, the word of the day is venerate, which is a verb. How much should I spell it?
Yes.
V-E-N-E-R-A-T-E, venerate. Its meaning is to regard with great respect, to revere. For example, we venerate those who put others before themselves. Venerate. Alrighty, see you later.
I venerate your word of the day. All right, so we have the first speech, and that is Günther Keller is the first evaluator. Günther, will you please step up and tell us about the Rochelle speech? Rochelle is online. With the timekeeping, we are going to use Justine to do the timekeeping for the online one. So, Rochelle, you will obviously see the signs come up, and then you will just know when it's time. Welcome.
Okay.
Thank you. So this is Rochelle's first speech, being the icebreaker, and I'm really excited just to get to know a bit more about her. I've never met her, so I'm excited to hear what she has to say and hear her story. I think given that the fact it's the first speech, And I actually haven't even given one myself, so it's going to be a cool learning experience to be able to see how to navigate that first one. And yeah, I think in general, I just admire the courage and boldness in order to step out and be vulnerable and do that. So I think for the first speech, I'm just going to listen for a bit of variety in the way her voice sounds, as well as just the general content. So I'm very excited to hear more about Rochelle and her life. Good luck.
Thanks, Rita. So, Rochelle Rubino, the risk taker, Rochelle Rubino.
Woo!
Thank you, everyone. Richard Branson once said, if someone offers you an amazing opportunity, but you're not sure you can do it, say yes and learn how to do it later. Good evening, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and valued guests. I'm Rochelle. I am 37 years young and I live in a beautiful town called Knysna, which is about 5 hours away from Cape Town along the Garden Route. I've lived here for about 3 years now and I absolutely love it. I live with my 4-year-old daughter and our 2 dogs. Both are female, Willow and Lilo. And my house can get a little crazy at times because we're all girls. And it doesn't help the fact that they're all a little nuts. Have no idea where they get that from. My move to Knysna was not a very easy one, especially being a city girl and now having to adapt to a coastal, relaxed life. I left Johannesburg for a chance at a better lifestyle for my daughter and I after separating from her dad. I was heartbroken, still sort of figuring out how to be a mom, moving to a completely different town and not really knowing anyone. At times feeling confused, feeling isolated, feeling lonely. But at the same time, so excited and so enthusiastic about this new life we were going to create. After being here for 6 months, I realized what a risk I'd taken, not really thinking it through thoroughly and all the things that could have gone wrong. And there were so many things that could have gone wrong. But I surprised myself at how strong and how brave I was for taking this risk and it turning out to be one of the best decisions I ever made in my life. Not every risk, though, that you take is this successful. Some are epic failures. But this is what risks are all about. Some are not supposed to be epic failures. But I guess that's what risks are all about. You never know what the outcome is going to be. How do we learn about how courageous we are, or how strong we are, or how resilient we are, or what we're scared of if we don't take risks? I'll tell you about one of my epic failures. Snowboarding down the Alps. Imagine this. First day we get offered to snowboard or ski. First trip ever to the Alps. And snowboarding sounds way cooler than skiing. So being the adventurous nutter that I am, I decide I'm going to snowboard. So the first morning we get taught how to use a snowboard, the basic movements, how to slow yourself down. And in the afternoon, you get to go down the slightly bigger slope. Second run down, and I'm going quite fast. I turn my board too straight and boom. Face plants, face first, like a starfish against a rock. Kids flying past me, thinking this is the funniest thing that they've ever seen. I've lost my sense of humor at this point. But I get up and I say, this is not going to stop me. I'm going to try again. And I try and go down and realize that the fuzziness inside my head is not going away. Realizing something might have been a little bit serious, I decide to go back to the ski lift and I speak to one of the ski attendants. I say to him, I had a fall, and little did I know at the time how strict the Italians take things like this, or how serious they take things like this. By the time I got down the mountain, there was an ambulance waiting for me. And there was a stretcher, and I was completely confused. getting into the stretcher with a neck brace. Luckily, my friend was down at the bottom of the mountain. She hopped in the ambulance with me. Off we go. After driving for a little while, my friend leans over and she whispers, Rochelle, I don't want you to panic, but we're at a helipad. With a confused look on my face, I go a helipad really loudly, and the Italian paramedic that can speak a little bit of English says to me that they have to helicopter me to a hospital that is 2 hours away from the resort. I say, you're kidding, right? He says no. So before I could negotiate, trying to say, just take me to the local doctor and test my eyes, I'm fine, I hear a helicopter land. Out of the ambulance, straight into the helicopter, off we fly up into the sky. I'm in a neck brace, can't even see. I can just imagine how beautiful it must look outside the windows that I can't look out of. And we land at this hospital, and I get pushed off this helicopter and get wheeled into emergency CT scan. And to my surprise, I actually had a hairline fracture at the back of my neck. So it was maybe a good thing that I was taken to a hospital and not a local doctor. Lesson of the story, maybe I should have baby stepped the situation and started with skiing. But I've also realized that that's not how I live my life. I've learned so much about myself and the type of person that I am and what pushes me to be a better version of myself or to learn a valuable lesson by taking risks, like in this situation. As I write this icebreaker, it has made me realize that I've never let fear stop me from taking risks. In closing, I challenge you. What risks are you willing to take to push yourself and to possibly change the trajectory of your life? Thank you for your time and letting me share my personal journey with you.
Rochelle, that was a wonderful speech. Really excellent. Well done. So well done.
Thank you so much.
And
thanks, Sean.
yeah, I venerate Richard Branson because so the book he wrote, one of the books he wrote was a book called Screw It, Don't Do It. Screw It, Just Do It.
Yeah.
And in my gym, that's on the wall of the gym when you walk in. So it's like you go and you don't feel like training today and life's going like that, and you go, no, screw it, just do it. So yeah, so that was an excellent speech. And it spoke so much about what I got from you was, you know, your hardship that you had gone through, the passion that you're putting into, you know, uprooting and just taking this plunge, taking your kid to an entirely new environment, that can be very stressful. And if you think too much about it, you actually wouldn't do it. So you sometimes just got to dive in and realize afterwards how brave it was and know that on the other side of fear is where we need to be. It's walking through that fear that counts. So now I have Anna, who is going to evaluate Quentin. Anna, go ahead. Please come up.
Good evening, everybody. Hello, Toastmasters. Madam Toastmaster. Or Mr. Mr. Toastmaster. I've been so used to saying Madam Toastmaster.
It's all right, I'll wear a dress next time.
So this evening, I'm evaluating Quentin's first speech, and his topic is Why Am I Here? He's doing the Pathway Strategic Leadership, and it's level 1, his icebreaker speech. So Quentin, we all look forward to hearing your speech, and we're all very excited to hear more about yourself, and we're here to support and encourage your growth. So enjoy the evening, everybody, and let's hear what you've got to say, Quentin.
So Quentin Xavier, why am I here? Why am I here? Quentin Xavier.
Why am I here? That's a question I asked myself shortly after setting off on foot. It was getting late, but someone had given me clear directions. You continue straight until you see the robots, then turn left, and you can't miss it. So off I went, confidently walking in the direction of the robots. Needless to say, I completely missed my turn, because only later did I learn that in South Africa, robots are another word for traffic lights. Mr. Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and guests, good evening. Tonight, I would like to answer this same question. Why am I here? Now, don't worry, I'm not going to go too philosophical. But I do want to approach the question in 3 ways. First, the obvious. Why am I here? A Frenchman navigating robots in South Africa. Secondly, why am I here? What drives me? What challenges do I seek? And then, finally, why am I standing in front of you tonight at Toastmasters? Hopefully, by the end of my speech, you will get to know a little bit more about me. Section 1. Why am I here? My journey. I grew up in a small town in the north of France, and like many kids, I was fascinated by Africa. I remember from a young age watching The Lion King and then later documentaries, and imagining that I was crouching low, feeling the heat of the sun on my shoulders, pretending to look for tracks in the savannah. Now, many years later, my degree required that we spend 6 months overseas to learn English. And looking at the list of options on the map, I saw Cape Town all the way down there. And I thought, no, that must be different from what I know. And different it was. Because the first thing I saw when I stepped off the plane was the magnificent Table Mountain. A couple of days later, some engineers I had met invited me over for drinks. And as I'm making my way up the stairs, I started to get nervous. I just couldn't remember. Was it 203, 302? No, definitely 203. I reach the door, I knock, no answer. I knock again. The door swung open, and there was, not the engineers. I had gotten the wrong doors. Or perhaps, did I get the right door? Because the woman who answered is now my wife. What started a 6 months adventure turned out to a life I had never expected. I came to Cape Town for curiosity, but I stayed for love. Another thing I fell in love in South Africa is the rich cultures and all its people. And the wine. For a Frenchman, it's pretty important. Something else that's important to me is nature. I loved rock climbing, and Rocklands in the Cederberg is one of the famous places in the world to climb. And that brings me to my second section. Why am I here? What challenges do I seek? I've always been attracted to challenges, and that's what got me into rock climbing. It's a sport that demands strength, problem solving, and complete focus. I quickly fell in love with it, and it became my passion, and I especially loved competing. Now, climbing competitions are a bit unusual. There's a great fellowship. You might find yourself discussing strategy with your opponent right before the finals. Because at the end of the day, you're competing against your own limits. And rock climbing allowed me to constantly push myself. Until about 2 years ago, everything changed. A bad fall. What followed was months of rehab, the struggle to learn to walk again, and coming to terms with a new reality. While I couldn't climb anymore, I had to shift my focus. Sorry. Sorry. What got me into rock climbing after all, apologies for that. Yeah, so all my life, I always thought that I could do anything. After all, my grandmother taught me and got me into rock climbing. She had just completed Kilimanjaro and was training for Everest Base Camp. And in her late 60s. But unfortunately, that accident taught me that sometimes some things are out of your control, and I had to shift my focus. So while I can't climb anymore, I still try to challenge myself mentally. I had to spend quite a bit of time lying down during rehab and explore the world of neural networks, or AI, especially the math behind it. It's interesting, keeps my mind sharp, and can be useful for my job. My job is quite technical. I analyze data, optimize systems, but at its core, it's really about reducing our impact on the environment. And that brings me to my last section. Why am I here tonight at Toastmasters? My work is evolving, and I still solve technical problems, but now I need to explain the solutions to leadership. And I found that in those rooms, being technically skilled isn't enough. You have to be able to take facts and translate them into compelling narratives and debate them. Now, I remember a couple of years ago, I presented at the Green Building Conference, and I was desperately wishing to get hit by a bus if I had to go on the stage. I'm getting a little bit more comfortable speaking now. I do a lot of training to our stores. But it's fairly large rooms and the faces blur a bit. When you're in a smaller group, like this, and it's a lot more personal, that's a lot more difficult for me. When I can see everyone's face and study your reactions, that's extremely intimidating for me. So why am I here tonight? I want to take on a new challenge. I want to take a step into or towards the skills and the life that I want. Or to put it simply, I want to ensure that tomorrow is just as good as yesterday. Thank you.
Wow, Quentin. Sure. Respect. Like, I mean, when I was sitting there seeing you, like I pictured you falling and you're in rehab, and like you got to get all your, like, to walk in that again. But you're standing up here tonight looking like someone that's never fallen off something that high. So, and like, I got to try that sometime. Knock on someone's door and see if they're going to know. It's like a new win. All right. So the next speech is Andrea. You're going to evaluate Chantal. So Andrea Batista, please come up.
I venerate Chantal, who is full of wisdom and knowledge when it comes to kids. And Chantal mentioned to me earlier today that she's saying a speech, or she's practicing a speech that she might have to give this Saturday. And she would like me to check that she's not giving too much information that we can't digest. She's asked me to check that she does get her point across, and that making sure that it lands with the audience that she's speaking to. So I'm very excited to hear your speech. It's called Vitamin C for Parents. She's on level 3, develop a communication plan, and it's her first speech in visionary communication. Chantal Fiat, Vitamin C for Parents. Vitamin C for Parents, Chantal. Thank you. As Andrea said, I'm going to be speaking to a group of people on Saturday who I venerate, and they are mothers. No one knows how important their children are other than the mothers. Their mothers sweat, bleed, cry, and spend countless nights stressing about their children. No one loves their children quite like their mothers. So that's the group I'm addressing on Saturday. Our bodies need vitamins to stay strong and be healthy and perform the way we want them to. Vitamin C especially keeps our cells healthy. It helps us fight infection. It helps us absorb iron, which makes us stronger. I find good parenting strategies like vitamin C. It does all those things. Helps our kids make better choices, fights off the bad things, and basically live a better life. So I'm going to be talking about the 4 vitamin C's of parenting. I want to tell you about a mom that came into my office called Tabang. When Tabang came, she was incredibly stressed, overwhelmed, and worried about her child. Tabang had a child when she was 20 years old called Michael. In the beginning, he was really cute and fun, and she just adored having him. It was difficult. She was a single mom. So lots of sleepless nights, all by herself. She found the paying of the bills, getting nappies, formula, and that all much more expensive and difficult than she thought. As he grew, then he needed school uniforms, he needed soccer kit, he needed lots of things that she hadn't accounted for. Tabang, it was quite a load on her because she had to go out and put food on the table, so she had long days, and when she came home, she was quite tired and basically just wanted to come home and relax. But that's when Michael needed attention. Often Michael would play up, he'd been alone for most of the day, and then he would really trigger her and she would start shouting at him. After a while, Michael stopped asking for so much attention. The years went by, and Michael has now hit his teen years, and he stopped asking for so much attention. In fact, Tabang noticed that he was out a lot until she realized, wait a minute, we have a problem. He's out all the time. And so they started fighting more and more about him staying in. And one night it all came to a head where they had a screaming match, and he just shouted back at her, and she said, please stay home, please be good. And he just ignored her and walked out. And there was a rumor around the neighborhood that he was potentially taking drugs, which she believed. His behavior was bizarre. And that's where I introduced Tabang to the 4 C's of parenting. The first one is connect. People don't care what you know until they know that you care. And how's the most important way of connecting with people? Time. This is quantity and quality. By the time your child is 12 years old, you would have spent 80% of your lifetime with that child. It is important to spend as much time as you can with that child because you have a very small window of influence to influence that child, to train them, to give them the values that you want them to have, to help them make healthy choices, and to help them feel connected. They really need to be connected with you the younger they are. And then there's quality. It's too big to go into the scope of this parenting talk, but there's we call it special time, and there's a specific way of spending quality. What many parents fall into the trap of doing when the kids get older, we do instructions, we tell you how to do it, we say, what are you doing? And basically it's teaching time. Quality time, think of it as just hanging out with your best friend, having coffee and just speaking to them, enjoying them and feeling that they are enjoying you. And that's how quality time should feel for your child. That brings me to my next thing. Who here knows the 5 love languages? Who's here has heard of them? And that is one of the key ways of actually connecting with your child. For those of you that don't know, it's time, words of affirmation, acts of service, gifts, and physical touch. One of the most recent and profound examples of this was I had a distraught mom coming into my office saying, there's no connection with my child. She just doesn't like me. We have a bad relationship, but I have an amazing relationship with my son. And after unpacking what the situation was, it turns out that her love language was physical touch. So what she would do is she would come and try and hug her child, and basically her child felt quite smothered, the girl. But the boy loved it. He loved being cuddled and kissed and wrestled, and that was the way he actually also experienced love. Because our love languages it's interesting, is what our love language is what we give to other people. But most of the time, your love language is not the other person's love language. And that also plays into couples, but that's a whole nother story. And so after chatting to her, I helped her understand that her daughter's love language was actually words of affirmation. But she had a very critical mouth. So what she would do is she'd shout at her daughter and criticize her and then come in for a cuddle. And that's just, she really broke the connection with her daughter. So it's very important to understand the love languages. And after working with her, we worked on her critical tongue and also that don't smother your daughter. And we also worked with the daughter giving her mom a hug now and then. And they felt after a few sessions they had a fabulous relationship. Okay, so it's very important that you fill up your child's love tank. How do we break connection? We break connection by shouting, not spending time with our child, criticizing our child, being rude. And how do we have a principle called repair and reconnect? So the quickest way, I'm going to sum up now, is just one of the quickest ways is apologize. Say, I'm really sorry I shouted at you. I'm really sorry I messed up there. I'm sorry I haven't spent time with you. That really repairs and reconnects the quickest way with your child. Okay. The second parenting C is be calm. 2 ways of being calm. You need to practice it and you need to model it. Children don't do what you say, they do what you do. I love it when parents come, I think my child has a temper problem. And after chatting to them a while, I realized that these parents are screaming their heads off at their kids, but they feel, their child actually has a psychological problem. No, it actually starts with what you're modeling and what they've experienced. They're just copying you. Okay. Your job as a parent is to be the most calm person in the room. How younger children, they first learn to co-regulate with you, and there's a whole science behind it, your mirror neurons and things like that. So your calmness feeds their calmness, and then later on they learn to self-regulate. So in Tabang's case, she was super stressed, and I think we all understand that. A lot of, especially mothers, they're very stressed. So she was shouting at Michael, and so she was not regulating with him at all. And the second thing is model being calm. So how can we do that? One of the best ways, I know there's a lot of breathing experts in the room, a lot of people know a lot about breathing, but take deep breaths. The second, if you feel your child triggering you, say, I'm just going to take a minute, I'm going to step outside, and when I've calmed down in 5 minutes time, I'm going to come back. And that also teaches your child how to react in public and with other people, to take a beat. Don't engage with that behavior. The third way that's very powerful is mantras. Who here uses mantras? Okay, so these people will know how powerful it is to literally rewire your brains. Often your brains are very flooded and triggered, but if you use mantras like, I can keep calm, my favorite one is I can do hard things. A third one is even to tell your brain this is not an emergency. Because when parents get very heightened and flooded and triggered by their children, their brain, they can't calm down, but their brain feels like they're going to fight or flight. But when they tell their brain this is not an emergency, you can actually calm down and talk yourself off that cliff. Okay. Second way of calming is you need to practice it. So take a 5-minute walk. Everyone's got 5 minutes. I know a lot of parents like, I don't have time, I can't do. You have 5 minutes. Laugh with a friend. Laughter literally rewires your brain. Find that funny friend or make a funny friend and laugh with them. Even dancing in your kitchen will actually rewire your brain, make you happier, and keep you much more calm. Okay. My third parenting C is correction. And this is where most parents start. They start with the correction. They start with, no, you can't do that, and punishment. So I've deliberately made it number 3. There's 2 parts of correction, which is boundaries and consistency. Boundaries, parenting today, they're like, I just want to keep my child happy, which means you're not going to be parenting from your values. No, kids do need boundaries, and you do need to have the ability to say no. Famous psychiatrist says, be firm and kind. Like a lot of people either do the be firm part or they just do the kind part. You need to be firm and kind. Don't scream, insult, manipulate, or bribe them. My latest worst is when I see kids throwing a tantrum and they get handed a phone. Those children do not learn to self-regulate, and you're not saying no to them. You're distracting them with dopamine, and that's a whole other thing in itself. Okay, very important with your boundaries and with your correction is to understand what is a childish mistake and what is willful defiance. Sometimes kids get very much disciplined because they made a childish mistake. Like a childish mistake is is dropping a glass. That 4-year-old did not throw the glass down, they accidentally dropped it. Deliberate defiance is you cannot go outside, it's getting late, I want you to stay in, and the kid goes, yeah, watch me. That is deliberate defiance, and you need to make sure that you address that and be consistent. Where parents really make their lives hard for themselves is they're inconsistent in their discipline. So what I'm disciplining you today, tomorrow I'm going to let go because, you know, I'm actually so tired and exhausted. I'm going to ignore that happen. It creates such a parenting battle because then the next time you do discipline them, they find you so unfair. So as hard as it is, be consistent. Okay. The fourth parenting C is your culture, which consists of habits and faith. So family culture is shared beliefs, values, behaviors that dictate how the family members behave. Successful families have activities and rituals, such as eating dinner together, the way they celebrate birthdays, playing games, going on holidays. And some families have an amazing culture of laughter, and I find they're actually quite successful. And I find quite dysfunctional families, when they laugh a lot, they manage to ride over waves that I don't even understand. Okay. So in a really healthy family culture, children feel connected, loved, and valuable. It's very interesting in that studies have found in religious families, because there's a lot of rituals and cultures built into it, and there's a strong family connection, children coming from religious situations actually do really, really well. So, after working with Tabang and teaching her the 4 parenting C's, it was amazing the difference that she found in Michael. He was doing so much better. He was making so much better choices, and she had a much better relationship with him. So, if you want to have a successful life for your child and for you and your child's relationship, remember to use the 4 C's. Thank you.
Wow, Chantal. Sure. It's like there were pearls of wisdom there. Like, I've got a 13-year-old, and when you said to me that by the time they're 12, you'll spend 80% of the time of their life with them, I went, whoa, Mr. Badger, I'm going to have to, I don't know, I'm going to have to spend time. Anyhow, yeah, that was great. I venerate you. That was an excellent talk. I want to keep going, Bob. Okay, so Michaela Geldorf, you're going to evaluate Julia Immerman. Will you step up, Michaela?
Julia, it's going to be very difficult to evaluate your speech. You're on level 5. It's the first one. I know it's meant to be between 5 to 7 minutes, but with the confidence that you came here this evening, I think it's going to be a breeze. So I'm actually just going to focus on the flow, see if we can understand things, if it's cohesive, and I'm sure it will be. So good luck, Julia. Oh, the title of the speech is the most important part. 1 brick at a time, building dreams, creating futures. Julia.
One brick at a time, building dreams, creating futures. 1 brick at a time, building dreams, creating futures. Julia Immerman.
Are you ready? 1 brick at a time, building dreams, creating futures. Fellow Toastmasters, I'm very excited to present my project in leadership level 5 tonight with you. It is very profound, personal, and very exciting as well. It's about being efficient, leading a good team, finding the right people to bring this project to what it's supposed to be, or I don't know, maybe it's bringing me somewhere completely else. But this is part of leadership, to adapt, to the unknown and be ready for it, whatever it means. What is it about? Some of you I have shared recently about the Zimbabwe project. What is the Zimbabwe project? Oliver, my husband, and me, we will fly to Harare from the 8th to the 19th of July, and we will build a roof on a building from Lois. Lois is working for us for the last 9 years, and I always had the dream, wait for it, I had the dream to build a house for Lois. Now I come to the point, because it's not my dream anymore, it's Lois' dream. And she built a house already, but the roof is missing. So Olive and me, we will go there and we will build this roof with Lois. So what we got already, I got my task team. Thank you so much, Toastmasters. We met already. Part of the project is to meet 5 times, where I showcase and I work with my team and delegate tasks to who is doing what in whatever way. So there will be lists of timing, resources, places, things we have to organize, event, venues, and so on. We had already this first meeting. The second meeting will come anytime soon. And then in August, I will represent the result of this project with my task team, so stay excited. This is a setup right now, so we had the first meeting. Then Oliver and me, we booked our flights, so it's in the pocket. Then we arranged with Lois to find the right contractors. So we're getting actually the quotes in to allocate the task and the jobs to the certain people. And then we actually have a wedding. It's not my wedding again, I promise. Now, the beautiful thing is, Oliver and me, we go there, of course, to build this roof, but it's more about connecting with the people we care for, what is Lois in this case. And Lois, on the other side, organized now her whole family around us, and they changed the wedding day for the weekend when we will be there. So they will celebrate a wedding with us and for us. And not only that, we will take the whole family, so I'd like you to picture quickly something. Close your eyes. Picture a nice quantum mini taxi. See the windows open because it's very hot. And the only thing you hear is 12 laughing people driving to Great Zimbabwe and experiencing something they never thought will experience. So Ollie and me with this whole African family on the way to Great Zimbabwe. And the road will be very bumpy, and it goes to the right and it goes to the left. But I see already us having this laugh, and I promise you I will actually keep track and make a video of this laughing bus. So for this arrangement, we got already, I spoke to 2 tour operators who offered to actually give this minibus to us. I spoke to people who have this accommodation ready in Great Zimbabwe. And this is actually the wrap up for where we are right now. Give me a second, guys, just quickly. I've got actually everything organized. I'm actually quite relaxed about this. And I try to catch now my speech again. You possibly want to hear now what the vision of all this is and how it comes into place. And you want to listen possibly how you on level 5 have a very organized speech, what you possibly don't get right now from me. Level a small breakdown. So just let's take Chantal, breathe in, breathe out, and just deal with the unexpected, what I'm doing right now. Let me just tell you one thing. I'm super excited to do this project. I'm very happy that I got an amazing task team of getting this ready. I know all these people involved will have a change in their life, and they will possibly build a brick in their own life. Whatever it is, doesn't matter. And Ollie and me, we are so super excited. When I dropped him at the airport today, I said, Julia, I can't believe that we're actually doing something like this. We fly into Harare, that we create our own African experience, that we make an impact in someone's life, and we create a future for someone else. And I think this is not profound. I think this is actually very, very powerful. And I'm thankful that I have these great ideas and that I'm with Toastmaster. And I'm looking forward in August to present the result of this experience. And thank you so much, Toastmasters.
Julia, one of the things that is really inspiring about you is your humanity and how you do things for others. You know, you've spoken about this trip in the previous Toastmasters, and you don't have to do this, but you're doing it you're building houses for other people. And I think that just speaks to the person that you are, and it just comes across in everything you do. And I wish you all the success for this tour. It's going to be great. Right, there are little white pieces of paper on your table. I marked a cross on my arm this time because I'd forgotten to say it about 3 times. So those are what they call woo-hoo notes. So when someone that says something, or when a speech is done well, or when an evaluation is done well, or if you want to compliment someone, you write on those little notes and you fold them up and you pass them to the person that's sitting there. So that's what those little pieces of paper are for. It's not tissues, they're a bit hard for that. So yeah, please use those. Okay, so we're now going to call for speech times. So if I can ask Christina to come up and give us the speech times, please.
I'm actually not the I think you are. Oh, sorry.
No, it's not. It's Anthony, sorry. Yeah, okay, I'm reading from the wrong script. Come up to Anthony. But maybe I don't want to read my notes. Okay.
I'm not too sure if I was supposed to time evaluators.
No, only when they do the evaluation later.
Okay, cool. Rochelle, very, very well done. Was very interesting, close call story there. I actually did a ski season in Aspen, so I've had many falls similar to yours. I'm glad you came out on top. Your speech was 6 minutes and 20 seconds. Quinton, your speech was 7 minutes and 4 seconds. And you definitely look like you have done many speeches before. So well done, man. That was great. Chantal, 13 minutes on the dot. Perfect timing. And I love this, as I'm sure many others do too. Julia, 6 minutes and 58 seconds. Very exciting journey ahead in Zimbabwe. Can't wait to see how it all goes. When do you leave?
You fly in on the 8th of July.
Cool.
Okay, so now we will do the voting. So you can put your phones on. And just point at the screen and put your vote forward. It's going to be hard. So we've clawed back 10 minutes.
No, we have. It's quite phenomenal.
Yeah.
So, will you just tell them I'm going to pop everyone into a breakout room?
Yes.
And we'll still come back.
Okay. Okay. So we'll now go for dinner, and we will come back, at 7 o'clock?
No,
Still 10 past. Oh, okay, so we're still back on 10 past. Okay, so we've got an extended dinner, and we will put all of the people that are online into a breakout room, and you guys can chat with each other there. And the dinner is just outside, so please mingle and let's have some fun and just chat to each other and catch up outside. Thank you, everyone.
Everyone's back.
Just give me these people time to come back, sorry.
Thank you for noticing.
Okay. Can I go now?
Yep.
Justine, are we
15, 14, 15. Sorry. Just a longer.
Must I entertain everyone? I forgot my jokes at home.
Okay. They should be coming back now.
Okay. Welcome back, everyone. I'm opening up the meeting, and without further ado, I'm handing over to our Toastmaster evening, Sean.
So now we come to the best time of the evening. It's table topics, and that's impromptu speaking. So what you've got to think about table topics before I introduce Paul, I just want to tell you what table topics is think of yourself in a work situation, that you're walking towards the lift, and you're walking with your boss, and as you're about to hit the lift, you got this idea for a business proposition that you want to tell him. You got 2 minutes to sell your business proposition to him before the lift hits the ground floor and he walks off. That's what impromptu speaking is. It's on the cuff, you speak off it, and you just got 2 minutes to knock it out the park. So I want to hand over to Paul as our table topics master, and he will introduce the table topics for the evening. Over to you, Paul.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. Good evening, Mr. Toastmasters. I'm your table topic master for tonight. As presented, table topics is the fun part. It allows you really to encourage yourself with a short 2 minutes speech. And tonight I have selected a few fun things, I hope. And I got also a list of people who are willing to go for little table topics. Now, we're in the breakout room, and I think Takalani is on my list. So Takalani, you got a big smile, a big voice, a good presence. Now, I would like to ask you one question, and you've got 2 minutes to fill it in. In order to become old and wise, you first must be young and stupid. So I repeat, in order to become old and wise, you first must be young and stupid. Up to you.
Oh, wow. Talk about being thrown in the deep end before you know how to swim. So good morning, colleagues. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I think I would again want to say thank you so much for this platform. It's much appreciated. I believe so much in we call it paying school fees. There is nothing. I'm sorry about that echo. I don't know if is it coming from me. Yeah, there is nothing that will teach you more in life than making mistakes. Mistakes are what will really make you grow. Mistakes are made by people who are going somewhere. Mistakes are made by people who are willing to learn. I'll give you a few examples. In school, when we were growing up, we had a system where in order for the teacher to enforce things that he was teaching us, he would just go around the class trying to ask short quizzes. What is this that you learned yesterday? And we were scared most of the time. Some of us who were shy. The fear of raising your hand to say, I know the answer, because you were scared that you will be stupid and you will get the answer wrong. So that was the biggest thing. But we learned very quickly, later on in life rather, that those who were willing to take the risk to being labeled as stupid were the ones that progressed more. So I want to challenge all of us that if we want to grow, let's learn to start. If we want to move in life, let's not be scared to make mistakes. You will be the worst at what you are trying to do at the first time, but the more mistakes you make, the more growth you will have, and that's where wisdom comes through. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pelakani. I really enjoy, because indeed mistakes is what you make to grow, and that's very important. 100% agree. Now I got Sally, who is also on the list. Sally, if you just don't mind to come forward, please. We want to see your nice, lovely face. And I got something for you. Now, while she's smiling, okay, this is funny. Not everyone will like you, and that's okay, because not everyone has good taste. So I repeat, not everyone will like you, but that's okay, because not everyone has good taste. Over to you.
Thank you. Not everyone will like you, but that's okay, because they don't have good taste. That's quite a deep thought and an interesting one, because through my 51 years, I have disliked 2 people. So that means I think I've got pretty good taste, because I kind of like most people. And I'd say in my life, I don't know how many people dislike me, but I do know one person, because it's a mutual dislike. But yeah, disliking people, I find it an interesting thing. When I meet someone, I'm one of those people that I like you fully when I meet you. And then I layer back, and I go back, and I kind of either go away, or I move fully in, and you've got me for life. Good taste, good match, done deal, designer package, friendship for life. But I am always fully open to like everyone I meet, but I do end up peeling back the more I get to know someone. And I always say, you need to meet someone, you need to share a meal with them, you need to go on holiday with them, and then you need to live with them. And then you really know if they are good taste or bad taste. Thank you.
Well, this leaves us with a challenge, because if I hear you need to have a meal, but you need to share life with them, now that makes it difficult. If you have a lot of friends, then you have to share a lot of lives with a lot of friends. So can I call Gunther, please, on the floor? Gunther, I would like to ask you the following. What motivates you to go to work each day? What motivates you to go to work each day?
It's a bit difficult. Sorry, struggled to hear you there, Paul.
Okay, what motivates you to go to work each day?
Paul, how's your sign language?
Maybe you should drop it in the chat.
Type it in the chat.
Okay, we'll type it in the chat. Okay. Can't hear you?
No, it's better.
Say it quickly.
Well, what motivates you to go to work each day?
I think in life you need to have a vision. Like you need to see, okay, what am I doing today? And how's that going to ultimately lead me to where I want to go? So for me personally, it's thinking practically, okay, where's the ultimate destination? And then are the daily steps lining up in order to do that? So I think for me personally at work, it's knowing that I'm developing professionally and personally, communication skills, the ability to connect with colleagues. I also this year joined a new job. So that was quite challenging in the sense of my previous role. I was there for 3 years, so I could connect with people and have good relationships. But moving here, I had to challenge myself and step out of my comfort zone and get to know people a bit deeper. And I also wanted to grow that ability to form friendships at work. So I think the practical growth in terms of what you do every day, and I found my work to be quite stimulating, motivates me, as well as getting to know people on a deeper and personal level. Thank you.
Indeed, fully agree. It's not only work, it's also the people you're working with, which makes enrichment in life. I got Bill in the room. Bill Russell, please, can you come forward, Bill? I also put it in the chat box if my voice is not clear. But what is the number one thing you want to accomplish before you die? My question, what is the number one thing you want to accomplish before you die? Bill, over to you.
Mr. Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters, I want to be a grandfather. Now, I don't know how I accomplished that without a lot of help from two individuals who just don't seem to be in any hurry to have any children. But I don't know, I think there's something about continuing on the family line. And I would really love to be a grandfather, and I think I'd be a great grandfather, and I know Jerry would be a great grandmother. So, yeah, I'm really disappointed in these children. And it's certainly nothing that I did, and maybe I'll talk to Chantel about that a little later, but they've come up short. They've come up short. Listen, at the end of the day, I raised two amazing men. And I was talking earlier, we've never had a bad day. We've never had a bad fight. I've gotten along with them the entire way through, and if for some reason they decide that they are not going to have any children, that is something that I'm going to have to deal with. So my accomplishment will be to simply look at my children, wish for what I want to wish for, and realize that it is their decision. And whatever decision they make, I have to make amends with that and venerate. I'm trying to catch up to Sean. Thank you.
Well, Bill, thanks for those words of wisdom. Is there anybody else in the room that want to raise their hands? Please. We still have 1 or 2 minutes, and I still have a lot of topics that I can ask. Anybody in the room? Don't be shy. Just jump up. Good day.
My name is Elizabeth.
Yeah, no, Elizabeth, yes, I see. And you are the mother. Okay. Okay. Can I ask you a question? What do you love most about yourself? What do you love most about yourself?
I love most by myself that I'm really in what I'm doing. And I raised my children very much with love. And now I'm very social. I'm doing with Rotary. I'm looking for the skills for other people to raise. And also in former times, I had an environment. I was a president of a big environment group. And so that is what I most love, to be there for others. Service above self. That is my life, and really I love it.
Well, service about yourself or for the community, that's what life about. Anybody else in the room who got guts to go up, please?
Yeah, let's do it.
Sorry, Paul, not really camera ready.
Okay,
All right,
great.
Ons begin. Hello, Paul.
Yes, I can hear you. What are the... Okay, my question is as follows. What are the top 3 qualities that you look for in a friend? What are the top 3 qualities that you look up into a friend?
Wow. Okay. So, hello everyone, first and foremost. So, without divulging too much personal information, there's been a certain developmental process in my upbringing that has brought me to a place of valuing certain intangible things in life. And this was due to a variety of experiences, but all of them came down to big losses. And when promulgating a rule within one's life, it's so important to allow for a certain veneration of creative expression, and not to limit yourself within your focus and your flow. And over time, the things that I have come across in my life and the lessons that I've promulgated are these: 100% honesty when I need it. The ability to see what a person needs on the other side and to give what they need instead of what you have to say or have to give or have to give advice. That is a ability that isn't just about honesty. It's about the value of the honesty. It's about exchanging something of value, not because you're giving it, but because it's necessary on the other side. So that would be the first one. If anybody has a word for it, maybe help me out with that. The second one is a level of anticipation in life. Now, journeying with people and walking a path that is quite difficult and quite challenging, and integrating the process of individuation is something that you need a little personal training. You need somebody right there that can tell you, hey, listen here, that's an opportunity. That is there. And I feel that the people that I've come across in my life, when they are stagnant, it's usually because they don't anticipate opportunity. And in a process of growth, I want to surround myself with people that grow. And anticipating opportunity and seeing the value of the problems that we can solve that inspire us is really something that I value so much in a friend. And the last thing is kindness. I think in this world it is so important to be kind, but never to lose the seriousness that this life has as a foundation. But we always sprinkle a little bit of kindness on top because we're here to enjoy it, aren't we? Thank you.
So those are wonderful words to close the table topics. You know, we are just on time, 2029. Sean, I leave it back to you. Thank you.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks for those wonderful table topics. They really were awesome. Well done. So now I call for the timekeeper's report. Anthony, you want to come up and give the timekeeper's report for the table topics?
Thank you. Firstly, I venerate all of you for coming up and speaking. Takalani, 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Sally, 1 minute 22 seconds. Günther, 1 minute 10 seconds. Bill, 1 minute, 20 seconds. Elizabeth, 41 seconds. And Andres. 2 minutes, 45. That's very well done, man. Well done.
All right, so now we go on we've got the evaluation of the speeches. And Gunther, you are the first evaluator. Will you come up, please? Thank you.
Rochelle, I'd really like to look at the screen and look at your face whilst I give this to you, but I'm just going to look at the camera instead. I really can't believe this was actually your first speech. One thing that I really enjoyed was the fact that you've got a very authentic voice, and the way that you speak is very, like, I sense you've got a strong personality, and it comes through in the way that you speak. And I really enjoyed that. The stories that you shared were also extremely personal, and I think you want to be able to, as a speaker, engage your audience. And in order to do that, you need to show a bit about yourself. And especially given the fact that this was an icebreaker, we got to see that. So I really enjoyed that. I watch a lot of YouTube, which is something I'm not particularly proud of, but I enjoy listening to speeches. And the best speeches tend to be the ones where you're thinking alongside the person that's speaking. And I really felt that I was doing that with you. Like, you were having a conversation with us. I didn't feel particularly prepared. And I quite enjoy that, because sometimes if the speech is too prepared, it feels a bit methodical and mechanical, and it really didn't feel like that. So I have to give you kudos for that. The one story I quite enjoyed, and the way you brought it in and pivoted, was about the snowboarding. It wasn't something we expected. So that was cool, and I enjoyed the way you brought that in. And there wasn't something in particular that stood out that I thought you could improve. But one thing I would encourage you to do is lean into the fact that you have this innate ability to have a conversation. So perhaps next time when you're giving a speech, I don't think you rely too much on your notes, but maybe leave the notes aside and continue stepping into, like, the unknown. It's like a bit of a trapeze act. So stand on the wire and just balance. And I think it's really compelling as an audience to be able to follow along. I really enjoyed it, and I hope to listen to a couple more of your speeches.
So, Gunther, that was an excellent evaluation, and it's your first time. And Gunther, So I'm Gunther's mentor, and he said to me, yeah, okay, venerate me, go on. And he said to me that he wanted to be able to give an evaluation before he even did his first speech. And I said to him, you can do that. And he did. And well done. Excellent job. Okay, Anna, you're up for the second evaluator.
Gunther set the bar very high. But Mr. Toastmaster and fellow Toast guest, no, Toast members, I always get this wrong. But Quentin, thank you so much for a wonderful speech. I must say you kept us really curious, also by your introduction, where am I? So you got our curiosity going, and we wanted to know what is he all about? Where is he? So starting with the question, you grabbed the curiosity of the audience, and we all venerate you for your command of the English language. Well done. I loved your imagery, your storytelling. We could really, and you also brought in humor by referring to robots and traffic lights, and knocking on the wrong door and meeting your wife. So it was nice storytelling. We could also picture your rock climbing and also great story, bringing in the story with your grandma, climbing Kilimanjaro. So, and we could all imagine your journey of healing and all the challenges you've had. And the only thing that I could say, because you had such a great speech, I would say maybe just to turn up your volume so that the people at the back could maybe hear a bit better. But otherwise, great eye contact with your audience. You kept us curious and keep up your storytelling. So interesting. We look forward to many more stories. And in conclusion, we're so happy to have a Frenchman in South Africa.
So now it's Andrea, you're going to come up and give the third evaluation.
Chantal. Incorporating venerate to describe mothers was brilliant. I'm sure that was not part of your speech, your opening part, but I thought it was absolutely powerful. Because venerate means regard and great respect, and all mothers certainly are. You pulled everyone and all of us together because there's no love greater than a mother's love. Your title, Vitamin C for Parents, immediately suggests nourishment, strength, and resilience, and you tied it so nicely to your 4 C's. The case study that you brought in about the bang, being in her 20s, struggling to make ends meet, the expenses increasing, you know, that mother's guilt of working, like I do as well, and many of us here do, and getting home late and having that guilt. What is my child doing? Am I raising that child correctly, etc.? So you tied us all in with that, so thank you for that. Your 4 C's, connect, be calm, correction, culture. Connect. We actually connected the audience by asking us all to raise our hands. You know, who in the audience knows about love languages? And you already connected us there, showing us how to connect. And you brought the audience in by using, I loved how you used the words fill a child's love tank. That was very meaningful. Be calm. You used great examples about breathing, taking a walk, rewire brains. Be careful about the audience that you're speaking to. You use quite a lot of big words. Motor neurons, self-regulate. You know, and there were a couple of others that I can't read my own handwriting for, but it just shows, be careful on who your audience is. Your correction, love the example about the child throwing a tantrum and giving them your cell phone. I mean, I'm guilty of that too, and I'm sure a lot of other parents are, especially at a restaurant. Here's the iPad, can we have a conversation, adults? So again, there you use the word deliberate defiance. Don't know if you could have changed that word. I know they hate the word naughty, but would your target audience relate more to naughty than deliberate defiance? Culture, great examples of eating together, religious families. I love the culture of laughter. It really is great, and I think the audience will identify with that. I also enjoyed how you tied everything back to the bang, that she used all the 4 C's, and when she used the 4 C's, she saw significant improvement in the child. So you tied it back to the story that you first started, and the outcome and result was the success in the child. Areas to improve, I would suggest to use examples of real struggles and hardships in the townships, and gear it towards motivations and solutions for real and authentic experiences. And keep the language accessible to the audience that you're speaking to. Perhaps less science, more practicality, because examples land a little bit better than words. And last, in closing, thank you for sharing your knowledge. We need more selfless people like you. And I think educating and helping those that are in need, we really, truly value that. So thank you. I will try to use the 4 C's myself in raising my own teenager. And so far for this, and from the rest of us, thank you so much.
And last but not least, we have our 4th evaluator, Michaela. Will you step up, please?
Julia. Oh my gosh, now you're filming me. Honestly, your presence, I get so excited when you're about to do a speech. As soon as you step on, that's always been one of my critiques, is that I stand and then I'm ready. But you come on and you're ready and you're smiling and you've already engaged with the audience without even speaking. So keep it up. You're a great storyteller. I mean, you demonstrated leadership. I'm going to go through the nitty-gritties. Advanced communication skills, we know you've got that. Demonstrated growth and confidence. Since I've met you, you've grown leaps and bounds. Master planner, the fact that you've planned a crazy wedding, and I can only imagine what Africa Burn was like, you have definitely aced that. And like I said, your confidence, it oozes out of you. I loved how you started off your story. She built her house, but there's no roof. So that was a great intro into kind of understanding what you were speaking about and why you're going to Zimbabwe. You always keep the tone light and fun, and you like to engage nicely with your hands, but I can see when you get nervous, you start to rub your hands a little bit, and then I think that's your telltale sign when you're thinking too much. Rather, instead, maybe drop your hands, maybe you'll change the train of thought. I loved how you were like going right and left in the bus and bumping around. You always bring such great analogies, and the tone of voice just really helped to like take us on a journey. However, I want you to convince me more. I know everyone's like, what? That was the most convincing thing ever. But why are you going to Zimbabwe? Where's the personal part of it? She had a house, but there's no roof. Maybe to convince me further to go with you, speak about her more, speak about the family more. Maybe you don't have to divulge too much into their life, but are we going on a holiday or are we going to help someone? Because I think your enthusiasm and your laughter and everything, just like, yeah, let's go party. When awesome, that sick of it is, but what is the crux of it? Why are you going? So I think there's a way you can maybe balance that in. So bring it back to why she has no roof and bring her in and speak to that, because that's why you're going to Zimbabwe and that's why I want to be convinced to go with you. Otherwise, you are very hard to critique. So that was just my only thing in terms of your cohesion of the story. You don't want it to be a greenwash statement. You want it to be impactful and actually have the influence and have people on your bus. But otherwise, really well done. You keep amazing me, and it makes so much sense. Your mum seems incredible. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Thank you.
You can see voting is going to be difficult. So Anthony, can we get the evaluation times, please?
Once again, I iterate all of you evaluators. It is a very challenging job. I don't think I could do it, so not yet at least. Quite hard to pick out the pros and cons in someone's speech and then tell a whole room as to why you think they are pros and cons. So I think it's very, very good. A very good skill to have, rather. Gunther, you were 1 minute 45. Anna, 2 minutes 3 seconds. Andrea, 3 minutes 22 seconds. And Michaela, 3 minutes.
Okay, so now we will vote for the table topics and for the evaluators.
It's not the right, guys. It's not the guys' right form.
Yeah, just wait. I'm trying to get the right form.
I think the quality of everything here tonight has been exceptional. It's going to be so hard to go. Everyone done? Okay, so we now have Christina that's going to give us the counter. Can you step up, Christina?
Mr. Toastmaster. Hello, everyone. I will not go into too much detail, but I'm just firstly congratulating everyone on doing their speeches. In the beginning, I thought, oh, well, there's not much for me to do here because there weren't many R's and M's and so on. I also find it outstanding that some people are doing the speech in their second language, as I'm doing as well, which is, I know, not easy. And especially when you're speaking in the second language, you do tend to use those filler words because you actually need the time to think about your next word sometimes. So in general, it was really, really well done. So Rochelle, there is almost nothing I can report of. I mean, that was when you started speaking, I thought like, well, there's nothing for me to count here. There was just one A, R and one and an and. That was it. So really, really well done. Quentin also was the same, was very good. You did repeat one or two words, but you got very emotional and a bit nervous, so I noticed that, but otherwise it was really well done. And you're a second language speaker as well. Chantal, you do the South African basically. That came up like 4 or 5 times, basically. Well, leave that out. It's a filler word, basically. And okay was your word. So okay, you used it a couple of times, but not too many. It was still fine, I thought. Some R's, some M's, a bit of so in between, but also not too bad. Julia, really well done. I didn't hear any R's and M's. I think there was 2 words you repeated, and the word you used quite often was and. So instead of just kind of making a full stop and starting a new sentence, you tried to and so combine those sentences and made it a bit too long. So that was it for the 4 speakers. Takalani, a little bit too many M's and R's, but you know that, of course, probably. And Sally, also 2 R's. Gunther, almost nothing. I mean, really well done. Bill had 2 R's, but I think that was part of the speech. It was kind of fitted in nicely. And Elizabeth, also well done for a speech in English, only 1 R. And Andres, you said so much, but I don't count those so's, so they were part of your speech. But otherwise, also really well done. Thank you.
Thank you, Christina. Well done. Very well done. And now we have the grammarian report. Michaela, we're reaching the business end of the evening. So
Well done, everyone. Wow, there was a lot to write. Literally a page is full. Like I said, Anthony, you got me on thinking on my feet. You said something about Einstein's quotes, which I really want to know at the end of something about the hands. Really good. It just says, find out. Rochelle, I love 37 years young. I love it when people always say how young they are. No one's too old. I'm just going to go through everything because it's a lot. Not every risk you take is successful. Adventurous nutters. You sound like my family would get along with you really well. Face plant, face first. Before I couldn't negotiate with the ambulance. I mean, that normally is not the case, so I love that. Change the trajectory. You could have said path. I love your use of words. Other side of fear, Sean. Nice. Apart from your 100 words of venerate. Quinton. Wow. Setting myself on foot was a great way to say I'm off. I could literally see you skipping ahead. French man navigating robots. And different it was. I came to Cape Town for university, but I stayed for love. Always been attracted to challenges, competing against your own limits. My work is evolving. It's a great way to think about life. Chantal. His behavior was bizarre. People don't know you care until you care. A distraught mom. Worked on her critical tongue. Fill up in your child's love tank, was mentioned by Andrea. And we continue, Chantal. Children don't do what you say, they do what you do. Teaches your child to take a beat. Make a funny friend. Distracting them with dopamine. Interesting way to think about it. Deliberate defiance. Parenting battle. Ride over waves that I don't understand. Sean. Clawed back 10 minutes. On the cuff. Takalani. Mistakes are made by people who want to grow. I love that. That's like my next tattoos. If we want to grow, start. Sally, through my 51 years, designer package for life for friends. Then I layer back. Andreas, without divulging too much, sorry if I said your name incorrectly. The lessons I have congregated. Integrating the process of individuation. And you said so many more that I couldn't keep up, to be honest. Gunther, you're thinking alongside. Story that pivoted. It's a bit of a trapeze act, just balance. Anna, you kept us curious. Andrea, examples land better than words. And I'm pretty sure practically everyone said venerate. Sean definitely won. Andrea, Chantal, Bill, Andreas, Anna all said it once, while as Anthony and Andrea, sorry, you said it twice. Thank you, everyone.
So, just cycling back to the theme for tonight is the importance of making other people feel important. I think that's what Toastmasters does. When you come to a club like this, it's about feeling that you're part of something, that you're important, that you count, that you can get up and have your speeches in front of other people where it's safe, and you've walked away feeling that you've achieved something. And I compliment all of you guys that were here tonight, that got up and spoke. Everything was so good, and it's my time has ended. And I hope you've enjoyed yourself, and I now hand back to our wonderful president.
Wow, that was amazing. Michaela, I feel like this was the meeting that everyone used the word of the day. It's the most. It was like an overachieving of using the word of the day. I feel like every meeting we have, I stand up here and I talk about how amazing everyone's speeches were and are. And the icebreakers tonight, I mean, Rochelle, Quinton, you guys were outstanding. And Rochelle, I know you were super duper nervous. You did an amazing job. Quinton, as Christina said, second language, you did such a great job. Congratulations. It's a really great achievement. role players, oh, you all have a very special place in my heart because really you make my life so much easier. So thank you, every one of you. New timer, new R counter, new evaluators, thank you so much. You guys were really, really amazing. So, yay! And on that, I do have the little sheet for next month's meeting. It's actually, I'm just waiting for the venue to confirm, but it's not the 3rd of June because they have 2 functions that day, so they can't host us. It's the 10th of June. So please change it in your calendars to the 10th of June. If that's not the case, I'll let you know. I've got quite a lot of speakers, and we need lots of evaluators, and I'm looking for a Toastmaster. So if anybody would like to take on the role of Toastmaster, Sean's done a really beautiful job of showing us what happens as Toastmasters. I'm sorry, I ran into all of the role players. I haven't even touched on you yet. So please think about it. If you'd like to take your speaking to the next level, figure out how to navigate the space in between speakers, please let me know if you'd like to be Toastmaster for next time. Otherwise, I might just pop you a DM and then we can figure it out together. I've got a great sheet that helps you do everything. So it's not scary, I promise. Sean, thank you so much for holding the space tonight. You were amazing. It was lovely to have you back here. I feel like we've missed you. So please be more frequent with your meetings. But thank you so much. You were a great example of how a Toastmaster should be and really inspirational and just reminding everyone what each role is. So thank you so much. Sure, thank you. I also want to acknowledge all our table topics speakers. Well done. You all did such a great job. Takalani, lovely standing up there on Zoom. I know it's still daunting, but you did it. So well done. Congratulations. So to all of you who did table topics, well done. And yeah, so the 10th of June is our next meeting. It is, are you running or reflecting? Made me think of Alex and his run, but I think it's slightly different. It could be running races, but it could be what are you running from or are you reflecting? Please keep that in mind. And then I just want to check in with all of our guests who were with us tonight. I know some of our online guests have had to leave, but Takalani, let me start with you. What is your takeaway tonight after doing a great icebreaker? No, a great table topic. What is your takeaway?
Yeah, I think once again, it's a great platform. I think I should have been part of these sessions much earlier. But the big thing was being thrown in the deep end. Yeah, I'm still sweating from that. Yeah, but I think that's how we grow. And thanks for that. I'll get a way of getting back to him. I'll make a plan. So I'm definitely coming back next month, and I'll stay for a few months until I get my revenge.
Amazing. Well done, Takalani.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Elizabeth, and you were also standing up here, Table Topics Master. What is your takeaway from this evening?
So it's really a big challenge. If I would live in Cape Town, I just would join. It's great. Yes, a lot of fun. So for a second language, and I'm not living always here, so sometimes I have to search for vocabulary, and that is the biggest problem for me. So may I make a tip? I have often Zoom meetings. I am the shareholder of the Intercountry Committee, Austria and South Africa, and so we have. I look if the background in my Zoom is neutral or something, and this to be more professional, I would think would be nice.
Okay.
So or something in the background, which is nice and not. Though the rooms are not untidy, but something disturbing.
Yeah, distracting.
That's the only thing. But summarizing the speeches and everything. I love it. I love it.
Oh.
It's great. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much. And Elizabeth, whenever you are in Cape Town, please come visit us. We'd
Yes,
love
yes,
to have you.
I will when my daughter will take me with.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you.
Thank you
Great,
so much.
Great,
Thank you.
great. Also, I'm very thankful that my daughter is here.
Yeah. Well, she's doing great. Thank you. Thank you. And Bill, what is your takeaway from this evening?
This month marks my 30th anniversary of Toastmasters.
Wow.
And I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. This is one of my all-time favorite clubs. The way it's run, the quality of the speeches, the quality of the evaluations tonight was heard. What you do at the end of the meeting is a godsend. The fact that you have a long interval in the middle where people can talk and discuss what they've seen, all of that is so important. To me, more than anything, Toastmasters is a sense of community. So many people come through those doors just terrified. And so many of them make the mistake of never asking the person to join. This club doesn't do that. They ask people to join. But the idea that someone that took them 5 years, 7 years, 10 years to come through that door, and all of a sudden they're going to say, oh my God, this is great. I really want to join. Can I join your club? Those are two different people. So you do everything right here. I'm going to make a plea right now because we're trying to build more community within the entire division, which is all of the Cape Town general area. And what we're trying to do is we need one more area director for this year. And an area director basically is in charge of 4 or 5 clubs, and they report back to the division director. But it's all about building that sense of community, getting everything going. There's a lot of experience in this room. I would love to have somebody here put up their hand and say, I would love to take that position. I would be more than happy to mentor anyone that wanted to do it. And if you want to talk to me more about what's involved with being an area director and how it goes, I'd love to talk to you after. But thank you so much for giving time to your guests the way that you do. Another thing that I think is outstanding. And if you haven't gone to other clubs, go to other clubs because you will find out how great it is to be in this one.
For someone who's been in Toastmasters for 30 plus years, that is very kind. So thank you so much. It's really, really such an honor to have you say that about our club because we obviously think it's great, but we are a bit biased. So thank you. Gavin, what is your takeaway this evening? You've also been someone that's been toying with the idea of Toastmasters for a while.
Yeah, indeed. And from the moment I arrived, I was warm welcome back to the club, and I just echoed the theme for topic for tonight's evening. I'll take something important.
Yeah.
You guys set a very, very high standard with all the speeches that were said this evening. And I'm very thankful to hear personal stories, how guys everyone structures their speeches, but more importantly, putting fun, laughing, engaged. I would love to continue being part of this club.
Amazing. So we'll see you on the 10th of June.
Yes.
Yay! Thank you, Gavin. Lovely to have you with us. And please, what is your takeaway from this evening? After your spectacular table topic.
Thank you so much. Wow, so this experience has been a little bit less rationalized in my mind. The previous one that I went to, I was sort of figuring it out, like checking everything out from afar. And I think with this experience, probably the best takeaway is with the table topic, having 2 minutes, you almost feel rushed. Or you feel rushed to, or I feel rushed to explain the situation, to make sure that there's not a lack of understanding. But in this space, it's been quite fantastic because there's like these little moments where it doesn't really matter how much you say, but you sort of connect. And I think the general attentiveness of everybody in the room makes for a much better speech because the audience is just as much a part of the speech as the person giving the speech. And I think the engagement between the speaker
valuable feedback. Thank you so much. You're on your path to best evaluator quite soon. I think I've checked in with everybody.
Are you joining?
Give me a second, I've got commitment issues.
Or we can work on this in the next.
Before we move on to the awards of the evening, I just would like, Sally, maybe you don't have to share, but maybe you could just please spotlight Rochelle, just so that we can, Rochelle, you have to come visit us so that I can give you one of these special little icebreaker ribbons. So I'm going to ask, oh my gosh, Quentin to come up to have a little photo shoot. But congratulations to the both of you on your very first speech in ToastEd.
Rochelle, smile.
Out your head.
Cool.
Yay! Well done, guys. Fabulous. So, Rochelle, you've got an excuse to come visit us in Cape Town.
Definitely.
Okay. We're going to start with the best table topics winner for this evening. So please, if I could have a nice big, Sorry, Sally and I had a bit of a moment there.
Wasn't me this time.
Congratulations! So this is definitely, you have to come back.
Oh, young man.
We have a quick photograph. So
Yeah, I've got a few, okay.
Excuse dat my hand is nou hier soos 'n direksie so. Jy my weer aan.
So, okay, I got a photograph.
It's not great.
Okay, she's trying to
Oh,
get...
sorry. Be more professional. Nice.
Great. Well okay, drum roll. Wait, let's do our drum roll. Just it's evaluator. Best evaluator.
We need like more variety.
Oh, okay, sorry.
There we go. Nice. Well done.
Yay, well done! Okay. Now we've got best speaker of the drum roll, Well done, Rochelle. Amazing. Would you like 2 minutes of fame?
Yeah.
We'll stop.
Must I stop this?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Awesome.
Well done, Rochelle. So now you have to come back to Cape Town. So you get all your certificates.
Exactly. I'll have to come on the 10th of June.
Exactly, perfect.
I know. I need to make a plan.
Yeah, make a plan. That'll be great. Okay, well done. Thank you, everybody. So before you leave this evening, I do beg of you. I had a really beautiful sheet that I printed. It was a new one for the meeting role sign-ups. It's orange. If you've seen it, please don't hide it from me. But I have got an old one that I've just edited. Please, will you come to me and just sign up for a role for the next meeting? Basically, all the evaluators need filled in, as well as the Toastmaster. But I thank you all so much for a lovely evening. I thank you for taking on roles. As I said earlier, it really makes my life so much easier to have all of you step up and take on roles. And I hope you have a fabulous rest of May. And I'll see you on the 10th of June.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Here we go.